Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. I'm super excited to be here on ThermOWeb's YouTube channel today, and I have a new layout featuring some foiled splatters. I did a similar technique on a card, and I'll link to that up here in the corner, but I wanted to try it on a layout, so let's get started. I have the iCraft Deco Foil Adhesive Pen, and I have a non-stick surface that I'm working on, and I am just pressing down on the tip to release a bunch of the adhesive down onto that non-stick mat. I have a really old, junky paintbrush. Don't use something that you love or that is expensive, because it's sometimes hard to get the adhesive out of your bristles. So I got some of those paint splatters using the brush and the adhesive there, and I really want a huge impact, so I want tons of splatters on the top of this 12 by 12 layout. So I'm continuing to pick up more of the adhesive and then just tapping on the brush to make those splatters. I decided I wanted even more, so I opened up the pen and poured out some of the adhesive on the mat. Then I got a ton of larger splatters there because I'm using more of that adhesive and lots of little ones as well. And now I just need to let this dry. You'll know that it's dry when the adhesive is clear. Right now you can see that it is white on white. Once it's clear, it will still be tacky, but it'll be ready to lay down the foil. So I'm just going to continue covering the top 2/3 of this 12 by 12 white piece of cardstock with lots and lots of splatters. I really love the effect of this, so give it a try. You can start with just a few if you're not sure about the look, and then you could always add more. But I knew from doing that card that I wanted a ton of splatters here. So once my adhesive is dry, I'm going to lay it in a parchment sandwich. I'm going to have another piece of cardstock behind it just as a shim to make sure that the pressure is even. And I'm going to lay down strips of the denim and the jade foil. So you have to be careful. The way I did it, I got some of the top stuck on a little bit of that adhesive. It is still tacky, and I just used another strip of the denim there. So I have my laminator. It is heating up for a good period of time, and I'm going to insert the whole sandwich in there and run it through. I sped that up for you so you don't have to watch it. And once it's gone through, I'm going to peel back these strips and reveal our beautiful foiled splatters. I absolutely love this technique. I'll be using it again and again. So now I have some of the Echo Park paper, and I want it on that bottom third of the layout. So I'm just going to trim it down here and place it over so that the splatters are just at the top there. I'm going to use my ThermOWeb Memory Runner XL, which is my favorite tape runner. It adheres everything down really, really well, and it stays put, and it's very easy to use and replace the cartridge. So I'm going to adhere down that pattern paper. I also have a strip of plain white cardstock that I'm going to lay my photos on, and I have another strip of pattern paper that has a phrase on it, and I cut it at the top along the phrase so that it would have a nice design to it. It's got a nice wave to that design, which goes along really well with all of my water pictures that I'm using. I'm going to adhere the strip of cardstock, which is just slightly taller than my photos, so that it gives a nice margin around the top and bottom. I also have a strip of pattern paper that has another phrase for the bottom of the photo strip. And I'm just going to, again, use my Memory Runner XL to adhere everything down once I have nice even margins around all those photos. Like I said, this tape runner is my favorite. It's really easy to use, and even changing the cartridge, you basically open it up, pop the whole cartridge out, pop the new one in, and close it. And it's so easy. You don't have to thread anything. You don't have to worry about which direction things are going. It's very simple. Okay, so now that that's all done, I'm going to bring out my T-ruler. I've cut out with my Silhouette Cameo some outlines and insides of the word summer so that I can adhere those down. And even though these outlines are very thin, I'm going to use the same tape runner. You could use a liquid adhesive if you were worried about it, but for me, this tape runner works really well even on things like this where it's very thin, and especially because the inside is going to be covered with pattern paper. I'm not worried about some of that tape runner kind of hanging off that edge and into the middle. I'm going to cover it up with the other pattern paper anyway, so I just feel like it's easiest just to use some tape runner, and then you don't have to wait for that liquid adhesive to dry anyway. So I'm just going to work from the center and then towards the outsides. That makes it easiest for me to line everything up nice and neat. And then of course the T-ruler down at the bottom keeps the bottom edge in line as well. And a T-ruler is such a super cheap tool, and it fits, as you can see, across my entire 12-inch page, which is really, really nice. So just a couple of bucks and you can grab this, and it makes lining up titles really easy without spending a ton of money on, you know, trimmers that have lasers and all of that business. Okay, so now the outlines are adhered, and now I'm going to use the same tape runner to adhere the insides. Looks like I accidentally put the S upside down, so I had to remove it, and that's another great thing about this tape runner. You can, for a little while, you can remove things and move them around. Once you press down, or once you wait 24 hours or even probably less time, everything is stuck and it's permanent. But as you're working on a layout, if something like that happens, it is pretty easy to just carefully peel it back up and then re-adhere it. Okay, so the other great thing about this tape runner is that the top of it, the head of the tape runner, actually pivots. It turns left and right, so you can get around those curves of the letters really easily as well. And so now my title is all adhered. I have a couple of stickers that I added from that same Echo Park collection, and I had one that I wanted to pop up. So I have my ThermOWeb 3D Zots, and I just take off the sticky by placing it on my arm, place two of the Zots behind it, and now I'm just going to lay that little summer hat above my little Summer Lovin' sign. And I decided to add just a few more stickers. You can see that I have a couple down by the title as well, and that pretty much completes the layout except for the journaling. And I printed two really thin journaling strips. So I'm going to go back to that tape runner again. It's really easy to use. I'm just cutting off the strips at the edge there. And when I do this, you can see that I'm working on a non-stick mat there. So when I turn over those strips, I can just run the tape runner along them and not worry so much about, you know, any adhesive getting stuck to my work surface, because I can just clean off that mat and it's fine. So now that completes my layout, and I have lots of fun foil splatters at the top, and the rest of my layout adhered with my ThermOWeb Memory Runner XL. This was a really fun and easy layout for me to complete. It has such a fun summery look to it. I hope you'll give this technique a try. If you're interested in the supplies that I used today, they will be linked down below as always. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a wonderful day.